What's up everyone? Welcome back to Golf Simulator videos. I've got a cool video for you today because as most of you know, over the years, I've shown everything. I mean, we do everything golf simulators, from hardware to software to builds and everything in between. But I've also shown some golf training aids. And those training aids that I've shown actually are perfect for a golf simulator. Well, I think I found another one that is just the absolute ultimate add-on for you working on drills inside your golf simulator. And then at the same time, you're gonna be able to take this outside and do actual drills on the range as well. What is it called? Well, it's the Blue Brick. Very simple device actually. The difference is that it's going to allow you to use alignment rods like you've either maybe used with a coach or on your own, but since you can't stick them in the turf, well, it solves it for you. And the other thing is, when you're outside trying to stick an alignment rod into the grass at a range, I mean, even really nice ranges, it's hard to get the alignment rod stuck in the ground right. It's always at the wrong angle. Well, guess what this does? So let me bring this up to the camera. So not only is this thing heavy, so it's gonna stay in its place. It actually has this big metal bottom to it, but it's configured with all kinds of easy to use training aid alignments. So you're talking about working on inside swings. You're talking about working on wedge launch angles, shallowing out a swing, square divots, angle of attack. It has different putting alignments. So you can actually put both the rods in here to work on your just putting drills. And I'm gonna show all the different drills here in just a minute because it actually allows this to be paired with easy to use videos from a well-known professional, Clay Ballard. So if you've heard of Top Speed Golf, the guy has an amazing YouTube channel. You should check it out. It puts mine to shame. I think he's got like hundreds of thousands of subscribers or something. Might even be more than that. It might even be over 1 million. And it's just all golf training, right? And he provides so much useful information out there. But now he's come up with a training aid that, in my opinion, is the perfect add-on to your golf simulator. So why? Because like I said, what are you gonna do? I mean, you're gonna, somehow figure out how to get an alignment stick stuck into turf or sticking up. I mean, it's really difficult to do, let alone at certain things that you need to work on, right? So let's just show you how you would set this up for someone like me right out of the gate. So I'm actually going to work with a local high school. That's what actually brought this to my attention. And I was like, oh my gosh, this would be perfect for a golf simulator. A lot of the girls on the golf team, tend to have an over-the-top swing. So maybe you want to shallow that out. This will allow you to shallow it out. How would you set it up? So for me, I'm the opposite. I get stuck. All right, so I come way too inside a lot of times on my swing, and even on my wedges, I tend to bring that wedge inside rather than up. So I really got to work on that. Well, all I have to do is set this down. All right, I'm gonna put one alignment rod in this alignment position here, not shallowing because I'm not shallowing. I'm actually working on that stuck swing. And then I just wanna make sure, I think they're both the same exact length. And then it has a driver slot, a 6-iron, and a sand wedge slot. The cool part is it doesn't have to be that exact iron. So I'm gonna use a 7-iron today. It's a nice mid-iron, and I'll use the 6-iron slot on that, okay? Now, you might lose the brick just a little bit in the camera when I switch over, and I'll show you guys the software as well because I want you to see the actual flight of the ball once I work on this. But basically, right about here is where I'm gonna have that. And the ball needs to be about the center of my mat. So the other thing that would be very useful for this, even if you're just using the simple alignment tools, is most instructors and commercial bays don't even have any mats like this. It's one single commercial mat. So when they're working with a student, they don't have any alignment aids at all. So they're gonna be able to kind of dual purpose this because they don't have a way to get that, student be able to be lined up to a target if they want them lined up to a target, etc. So we have that set up to how we want to demonstrate. I think the first thing I'll do is actually load up the range, but I want to take you to their website first. So first off, let's talk about the pricing of this product. So I'm going to switch over to this and I'll take down my camera. And we were on the Blue Brick Golf website. Cool part is they provided me with a link and discount code. The link helps support the channel. Discount code to make sure you guys are getting the lowest price available. The unit only retails at $169. So I feel like that's a very fair price for how much utilization you can get out of this, not only in a golf simulator, but then taking it outside as well. But let's just look at all the different drills that you can use this with. So first off, they have a watch this first video. Now, that rod I was showing you sticking up, you can slide a pool noodle over top of that. They actually recommend it. That way you don't have to worry about damaging the rod, replacing the rod, or damaging your club or anything if you're worried about hitting the stick really hard. I'm gonna demonstrate it without it because I feel pretty confident that if I were to hit the stick, it's gonna be light. So I'm just gonna show it kind of out of the box, but yes, you can add a pool noodle right over top. But shallowing setup, shallowing drills, they have more shallowing drills, setup adjustments for shallowing, wedge impact drills. That's what's so cool. He shows you the setup and how it should be utilized, but then he shows you drills to actually help you work on it. And you're getting this all from one of the top instructors, you know, that's out there. I mean, I've been watching this guy for years, so it was just so cool this all came together this way. But you can see square divots, angle of attack, inside swing setup, inside swing drills, getting stuck, that's me, anti-stuck drills. So I'll show you how that works here in just a second. T-square setup, just for simple alignment if you're working with a student or you're just yourself, just trying to work on alignment. How to consistently hit the center of the sweet spot. You can use it for putting, and actually, why don't we just show the putting real quick, and then we'll go back to the shallowing. So,
all right, so let's go over the putting trainer here. Now you're going to insert the alignment sticks into the same ones that you use for the square divots and angle of attack. Then you're going to line up the middle of those alignment sticks toward the hole in the distance, assuming that this is a straight putt. You're going to place the ball.
You'll see he's in a commercial
toward the end of those sticks. You really have some wiggle room there, anywhere from the tip of the stick all the way to about a foot back. Then you just make sure that you're moving the path of your putter parallel with the alignment sticks, and you're going to have a really square path.
Try to keep
Where I found this to be really helpful is if you're struggling.
I mean, how cool is that? And then what I'll do is I'll go back up here to the anti-stuck, and this is what I'm going to be using today. So I have that. You'll see alignment stick sticking down from the right side of the brick.
Make sure that you're already shallowing it out, coming from the inside. If you're not overdrawing the ball, this is not the drill that you want. This is for a better player that already draws it consistently, and sometimes having those hooks creep in, and you just want to straighten it out a little bit. So I'm going to set it up with the shallowing in the 6-iron. You can use any middle iron when you have this. And I'm going to set it up into alignment number 1 on the outside of the plate when I'm doing this. Put the ball about a club head width and a half, maybe a little bit more when you're starting out to get used to that. And then I recommend putting a foam pool noodle over top of this back stick just to make sure that you don't hit it. Today I don't have one here. I know I'm going to miss a stick, so I'm not too worried about it. But I would definitely recommend using the pool noodle just to keep things safe. You don't want to break your club or get hurt on this. Now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up straight with my feet. I don't want to cheat by trying to get unstuck, get a little more on top. This is actually going to have you to fade the ball, hit a little power fade from here. I don't want to do that by cheating and just lining up way to the left. Then I can drop it way to the inside too much, get stuck under, and still hit it fairly straight. So when we're doing this drill, go ahead and set your feet up roughly parallel with this stick on the ground. Now from here, if I'm over shallowing it, what I'm tending to do is get my right shoulder too low to the ground. I'm getting everything tilted too far back, and I'm coming too far from the inside. I'm over-hooking it. Now, if you're hitting pull hooks or snap hooks, this is actually what's going on. You see, a pull hook isn't actually a pull. A pull hook is when you get too far from the inside, you roll the face closed, and the face is so closed it starts left and hooks more. A block straight to the right is also the same thing. I'm just blocking it, my ball's starting to the right and staying straight. That's what this one's for. I'm going to work on getting above this angle here, feeling like I'm cutting the ball a little bit. And the ball should, if I'm doing this correctly, start a hair left of my target and then begin to fade back. So from here, the last thing I want to do is set up way exaggerated this way. I'm going to feel like I'm a little more straight up and down with my spine. Now again, at impact, you're not going to be straight up and down, but if you're struggling over-hooking it, you probably are getting too far this way. You need to feel a little more straight up and down. From here, I'm going to feel like I swing well over top of this stick. When you look on video, if you're struggling hooking it, it's going to be pretty close to it. So really exaggerate going over top. I'm going to swing left. I want that ball to start left and then fade back a little bit. Again,
Without
only
cheating
for
in the
players that
giant
are
open
overdrawing
stance.
the ball. If you don't overdraw the ball, leave this video. You don't need to be watching this. So a little bit more vertical, swing a little left, have a nice little fade on it. There you go, and that ball started kind of toward the left edge of my target.
That's perfect. So that's a perfect example of the setup that I'm going to show you guys today, and then giving you an example of how in-depth he goes when you are actually, you know, looking at each setup and how to use it. So just really impressive stuff. So let's do this. Let's go back to our TrackMan range. Go ahead and start that up. And I do need to bring my camera back up so you guys can see what's going on inside of the studio. I'll grab a 7-iron, which I have gapped. It says it's a 173 to 184 club. You know, middle range target of 175, and it actually brings up a really good point. In my opinion, talk to your coach, talk to your PGA professional. When you are doing a drill like this, a lot going on in your mind, you know, your muscles could tighten up because you have a, you know, object there. You know, and he even has a specific terminology that this is like an obstruction type practice. You know, it's on the website if you want to read into that. It's on the main site. Your brain's gonna, you know, try to force you to think about it. So maybe even stand up at first. Don't open up, you know, if you're someone like me that's going to try to work on cuts. Like he said, get more of a square setup and just try to take that back a few times. And you can see my natural instinct tells me that I'm going to hit that. So it's already in my head. So let's just go ahead and try to focus. The goal is to start to get the ball to go left. And you can see I could probably move this back just a little bit further. But this is anywhere in this front area. I might squeeze it back just a tiny bit because you guys are still going to be able to see it just fine. And I can even probably move the ball forward a little bit. TrackMan's a pretty large hitting area. I just have it set up to where it's back here. And the cool thing about the IO too, if you're using a device like this and you had a rod that's over here, you could actually hit from over here and it's going to auto align. See how that works? So pretty cool. We'll let it just kind of go back to the middle. We should be good. So, all right, so let's see if we can do this. I'm set up square. I've got to get that over the stick, exiting left is the goal. See if we can actually hit a cut and use this drill to my advantage. Well, that's not good. So you can see, even in a real swing environment, after I took a few and told myself to be above, instant feedback that I was going to go to inside. So I really am going to have to force this. Don't be stressful on yourself if you're going to hit a target or a distance when you're working on something like this. That's what I was getting at with that whole thing is that just try to make, you know, the movement to where you can miss the stick. Now, that was decent, especially all the thought going through my head. I just didn't get it started left of target, but instant feedback that this is going to put me on the right track. I missed the stick. The ball at least had a cut to it. I actually made fair contact. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm just trying to make decent contact right now with everything that's going on in my head. But let's see if we can take that even further now. I like just taking a couple takeaway swings. And there's so many different parts to this tool. We'll have to maybe do some follow-up on some different drills. But this is going to be my drill, hands down. See? Barely touched it, but I did. And he was far from it. I started left of target. Face was a little closed, but I started left of target. And I did not, I mean, I don't know how, I'll have to look back in the video, but I did not touch the rod and ends up being, you know, a decent shot. That's what's amazing. So I don't have to set up super open and, you know, try to, you know, exaggerate in order to get the path that I need to do. I mean, this obstruction in your way is going to train your brain to get on the path you need to be on. And it was really cool because he had two rods set up at one point and he was outside at the range And you can just go back and forth. So you can set up one here, then you can set up one here, and then work on coming from the inside to draw the ball. And it was just on that side of the rod and this side of the rod, where in this case, I would take the brick and I would just move it to the other side of my hitting mat, and you'd have this exact same setup just on the other side. So that's how that works. You don't flip the brick around, he actually has the alignment on both sides. So let's try to hit one more. I'm on such a roll here. Set up square. And so that time I just didn't get the left exit, and I'm back to that little, you know, kind of straight push. But I mean, it's already getting me into such a different swing pattern, the way it feels. I mean, so different. All right, let's convince myself to see if I can get one more starting left. That's my goal. There it is. Going right back to the bad habit. Left of target with a cut. All right, I'll just put the device away now and be done with it. Kidding, you saw me hit it that time. This is great. I mean, I just think that this is going to be so useful for so many people inside of a golf simulator. The fact that this device can just set down on turf, you don't have to worry about sticking rods in. I'd love to hear your feedback. Please comment below. What I'll try to do is we'll do some follow-up. Maybe we'll do some shorts and stuff, just showing you guys some different drills inside the simulator, you know, with the blue bricks. So make sure you take advantage of the link in the discount code down below. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me if you have one and you've used it. I mean, this was new to me. This product was not on my radar. And then talking to the local high school coach said, what do you think about this? And I said, oh my gosh, that's like the perfect golf simulator training aid, you know? So super excited to dive into this more. Very impressed with what Top Speed Golf and Clay Ballard have put together here, you know, so you can practice on your own or with a coach for that matter. So as always, guys, I appreciate you watching. Stay tuned. There'll be a lot more coming soon.